Erica, and Joe.
Wow, City Place Mall is dead today. You would think there'd be more foot traffic on a Thursday in November. Ah, geez, I know what's going on. Everybody went home to get ready to go to the Palm Beach Improv Festival tonight. That thing is a blast.
I know. I do love me some Anthony Francis. I just need one more survey to fill my quota, and then I can finally get out of here.
Oh, let me see, 47, 48, 49. Yeah, me, I only have one too.
Do you think it would be okay if we...
Surveyed each other? Of course, it's our businesses that are competitors, not us.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's make it official. I'm Tina.
Hello, Tina, I'm Baxter.
All right, so why don't I ask you the first question and then we can alternate.
Sure.
All right. Did you know that Visa is accepted at millions of locations worldwide?
Yes, I did. Did you know that MasterCard is accepted at millions of locations worldwide?
Yes, I did. Seems like we have something in common. Did you know that you might already be pre-approved, to get a visa?
I didn't before, but I think I'm realizing I'm getting a green light now. Did you know that MasterCard has some very enticing introductory offers?
No, but I'm getting that impression. Were you aware that a visa requires a stable employment history and clean credit history to even be considered?
Well,
visa?
I assumed, but no problem there. Did you know that MasterCard is prepared to offer you benefits from the very first moment you get your hands on the card?
Did you know that Visa has premium benefits for cardholders that are willing to make a long-term commitment?
No. I didn't know anything about a long-term commitment. Did you know that MasterCard associates with multiple partner programs?
Did you know that Visa has loyalty rewards programs for purchases like flower shops and restaurants that will eventually pay off over time?
Did you know that MasterCard is the preferred card for hotels? That you can reserve a room at a moment's notice, even like in the middle of the afternoon, like right now?
Did you know that if you don't follow the cardholder agreement, Visa reserves the right to slap you with a penalty?
Did you know that MasterCard has forgiveness programs? When things get out of hand.
I wasn't sure, but that's good to know. Did you know that if you don't understand your statement, Visa offers free reconciliation services?
Reconciliation? No, I didn't, but I'm really happy to hear that. Did you know that MasterCard has protection services to safeguard your security zone and to be very discreet with your personal information?
That's good to hear. That's the end of my survey.
Let me see. Mine too. Hey, we're done. Listen, Tina, would you like to go with me to the Palm Beach Improv Festival tonight?
Sure.
That Bob Carter Theater is amazing. I hear the stand-up comics are there tonight. They're really good.
Oh, that sounds like fun, but I'm much more interested in the sketch performances.
Well, maybe, but I think it's the stand-ups that are the best.
No. It's the sketch that's the highlight.
It's the stand-ups.
It's the sketch.
It's the stand-ups.
The sketch.
The stand-ups!
Sketch!
Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night. Oh, and Baxter,
Yes, Tina?
your survey has been rejected.
You said my name. All right, let's keep it going. Our first stand-up comedian for the night. Please put your hands together. He came all the way from Miami, I heard, in an Uber.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how long he will be paying for that. But please put your hands together for Mr. Milton Granaishu.
Hey, by the way, that's $82 in Uber. So you guys Yeah, my name is Milton Granadillo. I'm from Venezuela. That's why I have this sexy accent. I know my accent is not sexy like Antonio Banderas sexy. I know it's more like extra number 2 on Narcos. Yes, Mr. Cobardes. I realized that my English is not as good as I thought it was. Because I have like a couple of glitches. For example, when we were kids back in Venezuela, we got very hyperactive around the holidays. So my dad invented that resort in English. We were talking in Spanish. He invented that resort in English meant silence. So every time we were in a hotel, my dad was like, guys, this is a resort. Silence. I understood what they did when I was like 22 years. Like, I can't imagine the amount of times that I was in English class and I was like, guys, resort. It's terrible. I've been in Miami for around a year and 22 pounds. And I realized a bunch of things about myself. One of them is that I'm really cheap, very miserable with myself.
Woo!
Wow, yes! I got some cheapos here. Awesome. Yes, I love it. They're my people. Yeah. And I realized this while I was trying some pants at a place called Ross Dress for Less.
Yes!
I don't know if you guys know that place. Yeah, sure. Okay. Why are you guys embarrassed? I mean, I buy there frequently, and I can tell you that you have to make a lot of bad decisions in life. To buy at Ross Dress for Less. Ross Dress for Less is like rehab. Nobody really wants to be there, you know, but it's like life took you there, you know. The worst part is that there's a bunch of racks with a bunch of clothes, like very tight, you know, you can't take it off, you know, you can't take it off. I wish I had like a foundation that when you're struggling, trying to take off the clothes, somebody just come and hugs you. Tell you, it's alright, you don't need this. Come on, you're miserable, don't worry about it. Like, the name itself is amazing, Ross Dress for Less, because they never tell you less what. Less money, less dignity, I don't know. It's terrible. Like normally when you buy, especially at a mall, you know, you get this like high, you know, you get like in this vibe like a Visa commercial and you're like high-fiving people that you don't know and you have your bags. At Ross Dress for Less, the faces that you see are just like tired and disappointed. You know? It's like they abandoned a marathon because they have diarrhea, you know. And I was thinking, why am I so cheap, man? And it's because of my father, the same guy, the resort guy, you know? Because, you know, when you're a kid, you feel like you need everything, you know? It's like, I need karate lessons, I need a skateboard, I need food, you know, silly things. And so my dad came up with a phrase that stuck in the back of my mind, which is, when you say you need so-and-so, my dad said, do you need it? Or do you want it? Put one hand over your heart and think about it. Oh shit, you feel like a parasite, man. And every time we're asked for anything, we're like, Dad, we need this. Do you need it? Do you want it? Put one hand over your heart and think about it. It's like, oh shit, man. I remember just like, you know, like with broken jeans, like, Dad, I need some new pants. I just staple them.
And now even as an adult, you know, I have that phrase in the back of my mind. For example, I rented an apartment without any furniture whatsoever. I was like a homeless person inside a place. You enter my house, and it was only like an inflatable mattress, and that's it. You know, I remember once getting there drunk, and I was like, oh shit, they stole all my stuff. And I was like, oh, right. The thing is, because I went to like the furniture store, and I was like, do I really need furniture? Or do I want it? I don't want another with my heart. And the guy from IKEA was like, what? even with serious issues, I had the shingles last year. It sounds super fun. It sounds like a 60s group, you know, maintenance the shingles. Fuck that. It's a fucking painful disease, man. You know, it's a virus that goes into your nerves, and it's awful, and I had it on my face, and I had to go to a hospital. And I ended up at a place called the Kendall Regional Hospital. If you guys don't know about that place, it's like the Ross Dress for Less of hospitals. And when I got there, the nurse was like, yes, what do you need? Thank you guys.
Stage next is a student of mine. It is his first time ever doing stand-up. I know, right? Thank God that Milton really kept it mellow. Follow that. That's my first time. No, but we're going to be very supportive and loving of him. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. He's doing this very brave thing to do, to jump up here and do it, and we're so happy to have him. Please put your hands together. Warm welcome for Mr. Steve Engel.
Anyway, as Anthony told you, this is my first time doing stand-up in front of a live audience. But I have to tell you, this isn't my first time telling a long-winded story about absolutely nothing in particular, because I'm also a politician. That's true. I sit on the Board of Commissioners of the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District. And part of my job is to make sure that Boca Raton's beaches are among the best in South Florida. Which brings me to the topic that I want to cover tonight, which is beaches. You know, down here we take our beaches for granted. We go anytime we damn please. You know, 2 o'clock in the morning, you want to go to the beach? Sure, I'm going. Go we go. But up north where I come from on Long Island, you can't go to the beach whenever you want. You know, maybe 3-4 months out of the year when you can go. And it's something above freezing, you know. So you know, we enjoy the time that we have. We treasure beaches up on Long Island. They're a luxury to us because really, when you get down to it, after 3-4 months, you may get 10 or 12 days. And true story. And my kids, when they were little, they especially loved it. They put their bathing suit on under their clothes starting with Easter, just in case one. And my wife, you know how people preserve candies and jams and stuff like that? She preserved lemonade just so we'd have it. Just so we'd have it for the summer. She started that about Valentine's Day. Anyway, so you know, when the weather got warm, we started thinking about going to the beach. It was a countdown. 3, 2, 1, beach day! So anyway, first day we're ready to go to the beach, and my wife's up like 3:30 in the morning, and she's going, okay, what do you want for lunch? I gotta know before the sun comes up. I don't know, something about a sandwich vampire or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, so she's making my sandwich, and my kids, they're already fighting about who's gonna take what toy, and who's gonna play with this, and who's gonna play with that. And of course, as the dad, they come to me to be the final arbiter. So, and trying to be a good dad you know, I tried to set a perfect example for him, so I gave him a quarter. I told him to flip for it. Anyway, so I finally get out of bed, I put on a swimsuit, and now we're packing up the car, and I can't believe all the crap we have in the car. I don't know whether we're going to the beach or embarking on a cross-country trip for the summer. So anyway, we get to the beach, and we unload, and here comes the fun part. We got to slather each other with 2 or 3 gallons worth of sunscreen because we're at the beach, but God forbid we get any sun, you know? So anyway, we get everybody slathered with sunscreen. Now we got to set up the beach chairs. Now the beach chairs have to be in a perfect angle with the sun, but they can't be such that you can't see the water. So you have to see the sun and you have to see the water. All right, so we get that set up, then there's the blanket. And the blanket just has to be just far enough so the kids can sit on it and we don't hear a damn thing they say. All right, so we get everything set up and I sit down and I have some of my wife's preserved lemonade and I'm reading a book. And here comes my son, Dad, I need money for the snack bar. Now we have enough food, we could feed a small town for a month. All right, but he's got to go to the snack bar, he's got to get the world's greasiest fries, a hot dog that's got more cereal in it than he had for breakfast that morning, and a cup with about 80% ice, about 10% soda, and about 10% some liquid. We have no idea what it is to this day. So anyway, he gets his stuff, I'm settled down, and about an hour from that point, he's going to complain he's got gas, but we live with it. And so I'm sitting there in 2 or 3 hours at the beach, and my wife gets mad at me because I'm looking at some beautiful woman's ass, and a seagull comes by and steals my sandwich, and my kids start fighting with each other. So I said, okay, we're going home, and you know, we got to clean out all that sand from the cracks and crevices. God doesn't even know about these cracks and crevices we have. And so we get packed up, we get home, I pull into the driveway, and my wife looks at me, and she says, I'm making sandwiches for the beach tomorrow. What do you want? With your peanut butter, turkey or bologna? And don't knock it till you try it. It's not bad. Anyway, it just goes to show you, if you have your turkey, you ain't full of bologna. With that,
she's no stranger to the spoken word. She is an incredible storyteller. Please put your hands together for the wonderfully talented Stanza Alexander.
Well, thanks for staying tonight, because I was nervous. I'm like, people are leaving, they don't want to hear my story. But anyway, enough about me. But anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself here. I am originally from the great state of Nebraska. Yes, home of the good life. Woo! Yeah. Also, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Let's not talk about that this season. But anyway, I'm from the state of Nebraska, and I grew up with my great-grandparents. And my great-grandfather was a preacher. There's a difference between preachers and ministers. Preachers are always someone's got to go, he always hums when so my grandfather's a preacher, and he has his own church, and so we always had this ritual. Christmas time was the thing for us. Now, here's my thing. They always told me about my main man. Y'all know him. Y'all know him. Y'all know who am I talking about? Santa. Santa, my main man Santa. So we were down with the main man Santa. They told me about Santa, and I was like, all right, I could do this, I could do this. So anyway, Santa in my house became like a whole ritual thing. So Christmas Eve, we would sit down, make the little bags for the parishioners, because we gave them out on Christmas Day. My grandmother always had this thing where, oh, you gotta make cookies for my main man. So we'd be making cookies and whatever, and conveniently, probably about 10:30-ish, Grandma would turn on the TV, And it's amazing how all of the weather guys have a connection with Noah that knows where Santa's sleigh always was. So she turned it on and kind of turned it a little louder, you know, because it's time for me to go to bed, because she's like, she got to bed. So anyway, she turned it on. Next thing I know, they tell me, oh, you know, Santa's flying over New Hampshire. Okay, well, that's kind of far from where I live. When Santa would get about Illinois, I'd be like, oh, I got that. Because that means I can't get any toys until when? You go to sleep, right? So, needless to say, once I hear that, you know, I'm trying to get ready to go, but of course I'm hopped up on cookies, because I've been sampling the whole time. But anyway, I drag myself upstairs, go to bed, you know, Christmas Day hits, it's all good. Well, at the age of 10, I'm on cool status at school, right? My friends go, I know what I'm getting for Christmas. I'm like, how do you know? They're like, I found it in my mom's closet. Oh. And I'm like, what? And I know my grandmother. My grandmother was the queen of hiding everything. It could be in plain sight. You would never find it. never find it. So anyway, you know what? I'm going to do like the cool kid. I can't let them on that I still believed in Santa. So I was going to be the cool kids. I go around the house. I'm looking. I go down in our basement, you know, and I see this huge box. And it says dollhouse. I'm like, yes! I'm going to get a dollhouse. This is what I wanted. You know, because see, my Barbie at the time, she lived in a nice little shoebox. So she was moving up like the Jeffersons in the dollhouse. I'm like, oh, hey. So needless to say, I see this thing, and I tell myself, you know, I cannot let them know that I know about this. So for the next 2 days, I'm standing there in the mirror going, trying to get that surprise look, you know. I had to sell it. So anyway, needless to say, Christmas Eve comes, right? We go through our ritual, did the bags for the parishioners, started the cookies, my granddad's coming in smelling, and next thing I know, of course, Noah. All right, so I head upstairs, whatever, come downstairs. My mom is sitting there, bless her heart, mumbling over this dollhouse. And I walk up and I'm like, okay, I gotta do my face. I stand there, my mom turns around, and I look at the dollhouse, and my mom, who has been up probably for the last 4 hours, has put the front side of the dollhouse on the back side of the house, and the back side of the front side. So needless to say, that whole workout I did, no, it went from smile to it's on backwards. So of course, my mother turns around, and if you've ever had that look from your parents, where they shoot you bullets through their eyes, that's basically how it happened. So needless to say, from that time on, my mom was mumbling. My grandmother was trying to give me more gifts to ease the tension. So I was like, my grandma's telling me that there's no Santa. And I'm like, okay. So she was telling me in a nice way. She was saying, they're from your Santa, I'm like, okay. My mom, I said, okay, so what's the deal? My mom goes, Santa died in a helicopter accident. Needless to say, I've lived with that all my life. She finally told me a few weeks ago, I said, how did you tell me? She said, that is so funny, because my younger brother told me that. I'm like, Mom, but that was so long ago. And she's like, you're the crazy one that believed it. So my next question to you is, not always believe what your parents tell you. Because Santa, I know, rides a ski-doo.
Santa's real, because in my house, the saying goes, don't believe you don't get.
Yeah.
Believe in you, Santa. All right, guys, we only have 16, 17 more stand-up comedians. You guys ready to do this? What's that? They're not? Just Jonay? Okay.
Hello, my name is Jonay. Or if you've been drinking, hi, I'm John Goodman. Who am I kidding? This is South Florida. You've been drinking since 7th or 8th grade. Really weird not to have a microphone up here. I usually do that with stand-up, but the only other time we didn't have a microphone, I improvised one, so I felt better. Which worked out well until somebody took a picture of me mid-joke, posted it on Facebook. My girlfriend hated that picture, but I did double the number of hits on my Grindr account, so that one worked out well. I love coming here to the Bob Carter Theater. I met the actual Bob Carter back there tonight for the first time. And I like that we have this like 270 degrees of creativity here on the stage. Isn't that wonderful? But Bob Carter said, no, I'm not going to stop there. If you've been to the restrooms in there, they've moved the toilets toward the center of the room. You have 360 degrees of creativity when doing your business in there. Some angles are a higher degree of difficulty than others, but it's still 360 degrees. I had my personal identity stolen. I haven't reported it yet, though. My credit was so bad, the thief was actually improving it. Benjamin Button wanted to buy a house, but he could only get approved for a reverse mortgage. That was my very first time telling that one, and I should have done it at an open mic. Now that I heard a few groans. So let's switch to the news. What do we have in the news? The Rock, the wrestler, said he might run for president in 2020. I think it would be really cool if he became president, because it would be really easy to add The Rock to Mount Rushmore. The Boy Scouts are now allowing girls into their organization. Woo! That's good. Which should make it really easy now for the boys to achieve their merit badge in pitching a tent. I got a laugh from the booth back here. A 70-year-old man in Kansas City wanted to get away from his wife so bad that he got arrested on purpose. He sat down at his kitchen table, wrote out the banknote, took it to the bank, got the money, and waited for the cops to come. He was sentenced by the judge to house confinement. Cruel and unusual punishment. A 53-year-old Massachusetts woman won the big Powerball. Remember that from a couple months ago? The nearly $800 million she won from that. She said at her press conference she was going to quit her job and hide in bed at her home all day. For just a mere $1 million of that, I would become her consultant and advise her on things such as, if you're going to hide someplace, don't announce where you're going to hide at a press conference. Now, if you think that's inspiring you to go out and try Powerball and you think that's going to win for you, let me give you some statistics here. It is more likely that you will get hit by lightning than win the Powerball. It is more likely that you're going to drown than win the Powerball. It's more likely for you to get hit by lightning while drowning than winning the Powerball. So don't go out there and try that. Okay. Been traveling a little bit recently. I was at the airport. The TSA agent asked me if I was going on business or pleasure. I told him I'm going to see my family in Indiana, so do you have a third category? Now, I just got the light from Anthony. I would have thought, this being an improv stage, that he would have you know, swept edited me. For the next comic would have done that, but no, we did the old-fashioned light. So I have one more joke in here. So I'm going to do this, and he'll let me do this because I'm plugging this workshop on Saturday. Casey Casperson is doing a workshop on improvising stand-up or monologues. So that's where you make this stuff up on the fly, which it looks like I'm doing now. Not very well at it. But I'm going to try and improvise a joke here, okay, if we could try this. So if I could get from this section of the audience, how about a make or model of car?
Oldsmobile.
Oldsmobile, okay. And from the center, how about a day of the week?
Monday.
What?
Monday.
Monday. Oldsmobile Monday. And then from over here, how about a color?
Yellow.
Yellow, okay. So, last Monday I drove my yellow Oldsmobile to Outback Restaurant. See how I smoothly worked that in there? Now, I didn't know the Outback Restaurant has gift shops. They do, and so I was looking around it, and I wanted to get this boomerang, but realized I'd never used one before, so I went to the sales girl and I asked, what happens if I throw it and it doesn't come back to me? She said, well, if it doesn't return, you can return it. I said, that sounds like a paradox. She said, well, I'm not really Australian. A paradox, is that like a wallaby or a dingo? That's when I realized she probably got her job by going down under. Thank